My Ford Mondeo 2004 Mark III burnt a valve. Join me on the journey of repairing it. Here you can see how bad it looked on the inside, so full of carbon. After removing my pistons, I noticed how the little holes there's normally little holes in the side of the pistons. Mine were completely blocked. I had to drill them out and just to get them sorted. Okay, so putting the new rings on the Ford's pistons. Please note that the gaps of the piston rings are opposite and never over the gudgeon pin. Okay, even on the oil rings, I've put the gaps opposite, but still not over the gudgeon pins. And also none of the gaps must line up in any way. They must all be at different spots on the piston. If you're going to engage in a job like this, make sure your pistons and your rings and everything are beautifully clean. When honing out the cylinders, make sure that your cross hatching is at 45 degrees. This is to ensure that the oil does not pass the rings. The head gasket is in, but always remember what I do. Some may disagree, but I don't know if you can see. I grease my gaskets, even the paper ones, and this is to ensure that when you tighten the bolts down, it slips easier into place. So you can't pinch any side of the gasket or whatever. It just gives it some sort of lubrication to when putting it in place. So next to go on the head. Okay guys, remember that you may have oil down these with the head bolts go. Sorry, that one. So I just take a piece of tissue, roll it up. You can use a syringe, I guess, to suck up the oil. And then I clean out these things, because what happens is with the oil in the bottom, when you're trying to tighten the bolts, it builds up pressure and you won't get your correct torque settings either. So it doesn't even matter, you see there, it doesn't even matter if you have copper slip or grease on your head bolts. With oil down there, it's never going to give you the correct settings. Here you see me lapping the valves. I did not get a video of this, but I was lapping the valves to reseat them. I made diagrams and notes of where each shim came from, because you can't put different shims in different places. They must go back exactly where they were. Remember to do this, guys. This is very important. Otherwise your valve clearances are going to be hopelessly wrong. Okay guys, here I've got my head bolts. I already put those in, but I just wanted to show you something. I use copper slip. Not really that urgent that it's on the threads. Main part is at the top. And the reason for that is, once the bolts are tightened down, there's no friction, so your torque settings are 100% correct. Always remember to use brand new bolts when you're doing your head. So today I'm busy putting the cams in. These are the cam caps. I don't know if you can see that. There's a number. This is I1, inlet 1. Don't know if that will focus enough to see that. Inlet 1. So 1 being the chain side, and then obviously 5 being at the gearbox side. Okay. I'm going to try to speed up this video. Always put oil on the cams as well as the cam caps. Well, I always do, so that when you start the car, it's already lubricated. So talking the cam caps, 5 Newton meters, stage 1 and stage 2, 12 Newton meters. So this is the chain cover, timing chain cover. I've put some sealer on it, gasket maker, and now I'm about to fit the cover. Be very careful, there are dowels, 2 little dowels. There's one and there's one, so those dowels must line up and then you can push it on. Okay, so here you see I'm putting the inlet on. I've got my grease out because these are O-rings. I always grease my O-rings and my gaskets before I put them on, even the head gasket. Let's crack on with it. Yeah, I don't know if you're going to be able to see this. Yeah, you can see it there. It needs a new serpentine belt. I don't have time now and it's getting late, so I'm going to put this one on and then I'll change it when I can get the part, which will be in the week. I just want to put this on now and get the car running, and then I can change it later. Now the battery goes in.
Okay, so after all that work on this Ford, we're about to start it for the first time in, I don't know, a very, very long time. So
we have lights, put the ignition on. We have ignition, let it do all its checks first. Switch the fan off, please. Okay,
let's go around to the front. All right, kick it. Yes, I'm really pleased. It's the first time this car has started in more than a year. Are you happy? Are you happy? I'm very stoked. So now we'll just have to test drive it, make sure everything's 100%. Okay, hi everyone. Just want to update you and show you something that I learned as well. When I put the power steering pump back in, the pipe was still leaking, but it wasn't leaking here at the nut. It was leaking between the nut and the pipe. So the way to do this, you can buy this nut. You got to measure. There's a circlip inside here, which in this nut is 2 threads down. You got to measure the thread, cut the thread off this way around, so you get access to the circlip. Then you can remove the circlip and the nut will just come off. So I had to buy a new nut. And then also I took this pipe out. You can see that screw there, that screw down there, to get this whole pipe off. And what happens is, once that screw is loose, you can twist the pipe clockwise, and there's like a plate that goes behind that, and the plate will unwind once the screw is out. Obviously the plate unwinds and you can just pull the pipe out. So I took the pipe in for the guy to help me with the nut, because he did explain to me how to do it. However, being my first time doing that type of nut, I watched him do it. So now the next one I'll do. So as you can see here, now I'm putting the pipe back into the pump. There's the nut we just spoke about, and this pipe will be able to turn once that nut is tight, so that I can move the pipe and put it back in position on the head. And this has a little bit of movement because there's a circlip at the top, like I said, but there's an O-ring here at the bottom as well. So as long as the O-ring is sealed, you're fine. The circlip obviously doesn't seal, and that's why I had to change this nut, because mine was leaking from there, running down the pipe. So here I go, refitting the power steering pump. I was beginning to wonder if this job would ever get done, because after checking I realized I had to do the front and the rear brake pads. Thanks so much for joining me on this trip of fixing my Ford. If you've enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe, and tell me in the comments if you'd like to see any more videos like this. Thanks guys.